And welcome to episode 5 of the Box Nostalgia Podcast with PoNGa and Beerski. How's it going, PoNGa?
Yeah, doing really well. How's everything with you?
Everything's good, man. Working outside, temperatures rising, sun's coming out. Finally, the rain has stopped. So it feels nice. Things are going well.
Yeah, I know it was like the high 70s here yesterday, and it's nice again out today. So starting to really enjoy the weather after the week and a half or whatever we had of just straight rain.
It was miserable. I got sunburned today, so I got to get the suntan lotion out. It was a nice day. So a little chillier tomorrow, but I'm down for that. 70s is perfect for me. Don't need anything hotter than that.
Yeah, for sure.
How's everything else been? Everything else going well?
Yeah, going well. You know me, I'm excited to record. I know we were having a little bit of a giggle session before we started recording. I'm in kind of rare form tonight. So typically don't go into the office on Mondays. Went into the office for work today, so in a little bit of a great mood. So I will say we have, I think, 114 subscribers now, and I think over 1,000 total views. So really
That's
exciting
fantastic.
milestones hit.
I saw the 114 subscribers today. Super pumped about that. Thank you, everyone. It's super fun doing this every other week, and just want to keep it going. So with that said, we're going to hop into item of the week.
You want to start us this time?
I do. Oh, no, it's not popping up. There it is. Okay. I will start us off this time. So in keeping with my, early Japanese stuff, when I first got into the hobby, I started buying some Neo starter decks. So that's what I got tonight. I've opened up a couple of these. I don't know why I, focused on going to the Neo starter deck. I like, the box art on it is cool. It's shiny, awesome box art. It's got everything. Comes with dice. It comes with damage counter, custom coin, and rule book. The custom coin, which I have, is a Lugia coin, which is actually really cool. Small little Lugia coin. Is it in the box still? I might have it left in the box. I didn't leave that in the box, but it does come with punch-out damage counters. Like a lot of the Japanese product comes like in this kind of style, comes with these ones that you can punch out. Comes with a little rule book and all the art and stuff in the rule book. So it's pretty cool. It was released alongside Gold, Silver, and To a New World. It was the only deck of its kind to be released in Japan, accompanying the Neo series. It was released on February 4th, 2000. And it does, the cards, unlike other decks found in Japan, actually have rarity symbols. This is where you find, like the Neo Lugia. Actually, I pulled a Neo Lugia out of one of the two that I opened. Great luck.
I was going to say, really lucky.
Like, really lucky. And it was minty, like, clean. Unfortunately, it was very off-centered, so I got an 8 through PSA on it. But it still sold. I made money off of it, so I was pretty happy about it. I think I pulled the Typhlosion and a Feraligatr as well. I think the Lugia was a Feraligatr and Lugia one, and the other was Typhlosion. I can't remember what the other Pokemon was, but great little deck. Had fun opening them. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah, well, I feel like every item of the week you shows, like half of them, I'm like, yeah, I've been meaning to pick up one of those, and I just never did it, especially being a big Japanese collector. And that's just another one of those items that one day I'll buy one.
This is another one you didn't have of the okay. Well, so that's Southern Islands, the Neo Premium file, and now the starter deck. So we gotta get off the PoNGa.
And they're like, none of them are like super like crazy expensive to where like I can't justify it either. So yeah, I need to get on that for sure. All right, so my item of the week, typical PoNGa fashion, I'm going to show a sealed item that I really enjoy. So this week I have a Call Legends theme deck. So this is the Recon theme deck. The other artwork or the other Pokemon that's featured on the other one is a Lucario. So Call Legends, super cool set. It obviously has all the shiny legendary Pokemon, the SL cards. My favorite being the Lugia, of course, but it's also got all the other ones as well that are very cool. One of those sets that was super slept on. And I feel like I say that with all my items of the week, super slept on for a very long time. Those cards were very cheap for a long time. No one really liked this set all that much. The cool thing about this theme deck, it actually contains a booster pack inside.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's really cool. A good way to basically guarantee I have an unweighed booster pack, which I think the SL cards actually come in the reverse slot, so you might not be able to reliably weigh them all that well. But yeah, very cool set. I think, outside the shiny Pokemon or the shiny legendaries, has a bunch of regular hollows that are very cool as well. Yeah, just one of my favorite items, to be completely honest with you. A while back, I bought a bunch of tins, opened them, and had a bunch of Call of Legends packs, and I saw this theme deck for like $200, and I bought the theme deck and then sold a pack for even more than that. So I got a better version of a sealed product where it's completely unweighed, untampered, and then sold my booster pack I had and basically upgraded. So yeah, really cool item for sure.
That's an awesome, personal collection flip right there for sure.
Yeah.
Make that happen. Right on, man. Well, thanks for sharing that. We're going to roll ourselves into tier list. This week is consoles. I'm very excited about this one. I know PoNGa is as well. Have a lot to say about these. So
yeah, I feel like it's like a common theme where I feel like I don't know how I'm going to rate some of these. Most of these consoles on this list are probably ones that we have great memories with and played a ton when we were younger.
Yeah.
So it makes it really hard when you're just trying to organize them into a tier list where you got to make some tough decisions, and those tough decisions are going to make a lot of people very unhappy. So, yeah. You want to start us off?
I'll start us off. I mean, people can't be happy with everything we do. So that's just how it's going to be. So, all right, Let's hop in. Let's go. Oh, man. I'm scrolling down. Let's go Sega Genesis.
You sure you want that?
I do want Sega Genesis.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So I had this console before I had an NES, which doesn't make sense because it obviously came out after the NES. It was not a great console. Sega kind of just didn't do really well with their offerings. Dreamcast, being the outlier, unfortunately didn't do enough, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. I played all the Sonic games on them. Really did enjoy those. I think Sonic 3 was my favorite one of those. Sonic Pinball, another fantastic game. I actually played a ton of Sonic Pinball on this system. There was just something about it. It was fun. It was almost like you could also just run around that pinball map too, which was very cool. It had a bunch of other, like, I would say, shovelware for the system. I don't know. I think, what was another game? Was it Altered Beast? Was Altered, huh?
Do you know any games on Sega besides Sonic? Because I don't know if I do.
Yeah, there's not many. Like it's not like it was a system that had a ton of great like games on it. Is kind of what I'm coming down to. I'm sure there's people that will disagree with that, but it was just like Sonic and Sonic Pinball and a couple others. Like other IPs that came out that had games that weren't the best, like shovelware games, essentially, just trying to make money off IPs. So. I don't know. I think I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in the D tier.
Ooh.
Yeah, like I said, for what is on this, I mean, nostalgia-wise, I loved it because it was a console that I had and I played. But in terms of, what I can just see in the corner right now, like it's not anywhere close to most of those. So.
Yeah, I was looking up some games. Like iconic ones, and it's like stuff like Earthworm Jim and stuff like that, but that's not.
Earthworm Jim. What were we talking about before? Toe Jam and Earl. Yeah, Toe Jam and Earl's on it. Like it's nothing. I'm gonna look it up too now because
Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
So I don't know if that's gonna be I don't know if that was a great seller. Let's see. Yeah, Castlevania, Phantasy Star, Sonic and Knuckles actually was my favorite one. Sorry, but it's mostly Oh, dude, and Comic Zone. I don't know if anyone ever played the game Comic Zone, but that was a fun game. So that was a game I played a lot on there too. Wow, thanks for actually suggesting looking this up. Yeah, Altered Beast was on there. Revenge of Shinobi. Yeah, like I played a lot of these games, but nothing really crazy. So I'm going to stick with the D.
Yeah, I feel like Sega Genesis when I was younger, I thought it was like the coolest thing in the world. And it was probably because like not that many people or not as many people had them, when comparing to like the Nintendo consoles of the time. So I think we kind of know where this goes. I outside Sonic and a few of the other titles that you just mentioned, I kind of try to rate these consoles based on not only the way I enjoyed them, but like the iconic titles, and I just feel like this one lacks. So I'm just gonna agree with you and say D tier.
Okay, Sega Genesis hitting the D, baby.
But like I said, it's weird. When I was younger, I felt like all the Sega consoles were so cool, but but looking back, they really weren't.
I think because Sega Genesis was like a step up graphics wise from an NES, so like that should give it points, but the NES still just had such better games. So like the graphics were an update, and that's awesome. But I think that's where Dreamcast got bit too. Like they had really cool graphics and a bunch of stuff. It just a lot of things didn't pan out for them.
All right.
Excuse me.
Trying to decide if I want to start with a super high ranking one or a mid. I'm gonna go get the trash out there. So I'm gonna do the Atari 2600. When you say Atari, do you know anything outside of Pong or Frogger or?
I mean, Asteroids.
Yeah.
Space Command. Like
So
there was some
garbage.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing great, but it was also the first system that you could take into your house.
Yeah, that's why it's like hard to rank for me because it's really like the first one out there, right? And I needed to look at games again. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not a big fan. I'm not
Pitfall, River Raid, Adventure. Yeah, I mean, Asteroids, Frogger, Missile Command, Centipede. I mean, it's so like they're old games that people enjoy. Like when you go into an arcade to play, like that's really what it was. It was arcade games for your home, and it was a great idea, and it worked for a lot of people. But like technology just moved so quick that I don't know.
I feel like I have to rate it above, like higher than D, because like you said, it's like all the iconic arcade games, but at home, which is kind of cool. And at the time was very cool.
They were capitalizing on the arcade boom because there was a huge arcade boom.
But I also don't think I could rate it higher than a Genesis. I think I'm gonna
double
go
D?
with D. Yeah, double D's.
Double D's. All right. Well, you can put it in a D for me as well because I don't want to ruin the double D's for the people watching.
Well, what do you actually feel?
I feel like it's probably around a D tier console. Like it's nothing. Listen, that controller is terrible. Again, it was to match the joysticks on the arcade. They were trying to bring the arcade home.
Yeah.
And short of bringing an entire arcade chest into your house like you can do now, I mean, you can build them yourself. Like you can buy builds online and bring them into your house and put every game from every console from every generation into it. I've seen it. It's awesome. But I mean, in the early 80s and stuff, like, yeah, this was wild. Like, awesome. Like, dude, look what I can do. I don't even have to go to the arcade to play. But I feel like then you lost what the arcade was, which was like a cool get-together place. So, I don't know. I think that they were a good stepping stone to bridge the gap between arcade and home. But I think they missed the mark just because there wasn't anything really, Atari didn't have its own say. It wasn't like their own games, like their own, IPs and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I'm cool with the D there.
All right. What do you want to do?
Oh man. Let's go Nintendo Wii. Okay, so I really liked the Nintendo Wii. I think for Nintendo did the perfect thing again. They decided not to try and fight against a PlayStation 2 and an Xbox 360 and then upcoming PlayStation 3. They held back a little bit. They went a completely different direction with the motion controls. I can say one game that I know everyone's probably played at least once if they were around when that came out, and that's Wii Sports. Wii
Came
Sports,
with it, right?
yeah, Wii Sports Bowling. Like I think it's one of the best mini games of all
You
time to
you throw
play.
you throw the ball backwards and they all jump and spin.
Yeah, oh, it's great. Yeah, they put their little hands up. Like it's awesome. So like,
I had like the perfect perfect strike. You go
yeah,
between the second and the third dot, and you just put a little bit of a curve on it. And
both
it's a strike every
300s all
time.
the time. You just really crush it, dude. I know exactly. Hours downstairs. We had a big screen TV too, like a tube one. It's like a
Yeah,
50 something. It was massive, and we
tube
played on
TVs,
that.
baby.
Dude, played on that. It was so cool. It had games come out like Super Mario Galaxy, fantastic game. Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess came out. The motion controls, while not super great in like sensitivity, still was just such like a leap ahead, and it was such a cool novelty that it didn't really wear off. Some games, overutilize it. There's a lot of games that didn't utilize it, that you didn't need to use it. Um, I think that the library for the Nintendo Wii was gigantic. Lots of shovelware as well, though. It's a Nintendo console for you. But I think knowing what they were up against and where they were in the battle for the big three at that time for consoles, I think Nintendo knocked it out of the park with the Wii, and I'm going to give that system a B.
Knocked it out of the park, and you give it a B.
Well,
Make it make sense.
Well, because some of the consoles that are going to be out, it's
Yeah.
just it's tough. Like for Nintendo stayed relevant when they should have died.
Yeah.
They were the next Sega when it came to losing a console, and they decided that wasn't going to happen. They really came. I mean, I don't know if people know Reggie Fils-Aimé. He was the like director of Nintendo America, and this dude was like, he was on every marketing thing they could throw out for it. It was so good. When I worked at GameStop, we went to GameStop convention in Las Vegas, and he was there, and they were just pumping the Wii, man. So like everything about it. I mean, the Wii Fit was another awesome thing. They had so many cool peripherals that came out with the Wii system. So again, I think a B, like it was a great family entertainment system. Like that's what it was. It was for family. It was a great system. So a B I will stick with. And that, yeah, they knocked it out of the park with the B there.
Yeah. This one's tough too, because I feel like I want to
put it higher.
Yeah,
but I can't, because there's other systems here that are just better.
I was just curious. I pulled up how well it sold. 101 million units.
That's so many.
Yeah.
It's the best. I will say it's the best Nintendo console on this.
Well, yeah, because the Switch
tier.
is a handheld, so it's not on this tier list. Otherwise,
Yeah.
that would win. Just for perspective, like the Nintendo or the Switch has sold 137 million units. Yeah, but I kind of agree with everything you said. I think this is like the king of party games. That anything from Mario Kart to Wii Sports to like the WarioWare games. There was a game, Carnival Games, and I don't know if you ever played that.
Yes.
I know we talked about it in a previous episode, the Mario and Sonic Olympic game. Bunch of games like that, right? Party games, head-to-head type games. And then, like you said,
like bongo game that you bought bongos for.
Yeah, it's like, and you mentioned Twilight Princess. I think that actually came out at the end of GameCube, but I actually played it on the Wii.
It did. It was a dual release.
But yeah, I feel like I have to put it in A. I remember I got it for Christmas the year it came out, and I remember seeing it, and it was like one of those videos you see posted on the internet where like the one sibling like tackles their brother or whatever. That I did that to my older brother, And I just remember being so excited and just endless amounts of hours playing this with friends, by myself. It had a good mixture of the typical Nintendo single player type games and then the party game. So I think I'm going to put it in A.
Okay, that's fair.
And to your point, like I feel you had it in B, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like towards the beginning, they like kind of were pushing the motion control as being like this selling point. But then I think they quickly realized, hey, not everyone wants to point their controller at the TV for everything.
Yeah.
And kind of improve their catalog of games. But yeah,
Yeah, because it definitely and it doesn't even show like so. If someone in here that's watching hasn't played the Wii, like the controller also had another peripheral to it that plugged into the bottom of it that was a joystick for your left thumb. So like when you play Twilight Princess, you could actually aim your bow or your boomerang or your
yeah,
slingshot
the
or whatever you
nunchuck.
were. And yeah, the nunchuck. Thank you. That's exactly what it was called, and it was awesome. Like it was just a cool concept. Also, they had pro controllers, just like the Switch does. So they had other ways to play the game as well. But yeah, just a cool system all the way around.
Yep.
All right,
Okay.
your go.
Oh man. All right, let's get this one done with. Wii U. The failed version of the Wii, I think. I didn't own this one. I think the only game I ever played on it was the Super Smash on it at a friend's house. That's a really good game, and I think the gamepad was pretty cool. But I feel like they didn't utilize the gamepad how it should be used. It almost felt like when I see people play with the gamepad, I feel like they were just staring at the gamepad and not using it with the TV, rather than like having to use both of them together, like something
Okay.
like the Nintendo DS or something, where like
Yes.
one of them has a map on it or some like your item bag or something. I'm pretty sure there's games that probably did it that way, but yeah, I think I'm gonna. Oh man, I just don't have that much experience playing it. I think I'm gonna put it in C tier, just because I think it's a much worse version of a Wii.
Okay. I did not get this console at all. I know what it led to, which was the Switch. You can tell just by this screen that that's kind of what they were thinking or trying to go for. Console at home that had a screen on it. Execution was terrible. I'd rather just own a DS. I don't think this sold a lot of consoles. It was commercial
I'm
failure.
switching mine to D. I want D.
Yeah, I'm putting it in the Y tier.
Oh,
Like
okay.
this system didn't make like they should have just continued to beat the horse that was the Wii to death. Um, but I understand where what it led to was the Switch, which was awesome. Like sometimes you have to take a turd like a big steamy one to get something nice, but like you know I didn't really understand it when it came out. I still don't understand it. Like you said, terrible version of the Wii and just poorly executed, poorly marketed. The whole thing was bad on Nintendo's part.
And I think it's got a very limited game library as well. But I was now this website I pulled it up while we were filming, so I don't know how accurate the numbers are, but it's basically the best-selling consoles of all time. The Wii U's at the bottom of the list at 13.5 million units.
Yeah,
Now, for
worldwide.
compared to Wii U, that's 101 million. So about 10 times or a little less than 10 times less.
And what's crazy about that is that over its lifespan, that was 5 years. That's it. 5 years
Yeah.
it went, and that's not like a normal Nintendo console thing. They usually let
I mean,
them.
it goes to show you, I pretty much owned all of these, most of them, at least the newer ones, and that I didn't own it. So
Yeah, that's a shame, and it was the $300 price too for the
yeah,
base, and we see how Wikipedia is killing it. $349 for the deluxe premium set, and it was discontinued January 31st, 2017. When did the Switch come out? Not too long after that.
I think I don't know when did probably I would guess
March 3rd,
yeah.
2017. So literally a month and 3 days later.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. Well, there you go. All right, my turn to pick a winner here. Let's see. We're gonna get off Nintendo for a little bit. Let's go original Xbox.
Oh, where is that?
You gotta go down.
Down.
All right. So, what can I say about this system? Just looking at this picture puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Like a huge freaking smile. I love the Xbox. The original Xbox is so cool. I can close my eyes right now and see that opening screen and hear it start up and like a nuclear reactor, dude. It was so cool. Halo, Halo, like the killer app for the system. I remember my best friend who lived across the street from me got this the year it released on Christmas Day. I think it released November 15th, 2001. I'm pretty sure that was the release date for it. And then we played so much Halo on this system, like a ridiculous amount. Split screen. There was no internet. It was a simpler time. The football games that came out for it too were extremely well done. I think Xbox had. I'm trying to think. I don't know if it was Microsoft's own. I don't think it was Madden though. Still a great game. Forza, Fable. I can keep rattling, names of games off. It's just the nostalgia of. I remember when I got mine, how happy I was when I opened mine up for Christmas. The Duke controller. If you've never played with the Duke controller, is the biggest, most ridiculous thing of all time. Playing Halo on it made zero sense why it was so damn big, but it was just so cool. Like they went a completely opposite. They made their system big and gnarly looking compared to the PlayStation, which was smooth and small with sleek lines. Microsoft definitely made a statement with this system. Like I said, it holds like a really like deep part of my nostalgia childhood. This is an A tier system for me. I can't quite give it the S because there's one system that's better than it. But it's A tier. I just had so much fun. The graphics were great on it. Games like Black, the Call of Duty games started to come out. It just great game, just great system. So.
Oh, I don't know where I want to rate this. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I mean, it is like when you think of like peak gaming, it's like the early 2000s to like, I don't know, 10 to 15 years after that, in my opinion. And this was like
golden age of gaming.
Yeah, it's like all the consoles that came out around this time were just like, it's just banger after banger. I think I'm somewhere between A and B. I think it's my second favorite Xbox console. I've owned them all. To everything you said, I mean, it was like back in the day, split screen Halo, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, even just like campaign, like running legendary campaign Halo with your buddy. Like
yeah, see, I didn't play all that many games outside of like Halo and a few others back then, the sports games, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason back then, sports games were better on Xbox. I don't know why that was. They were just always smoother.
Much better. That's what I said. Like that one, it had Peyton Manning on the cover. The game was fantastic. Like I had a really great time with that.
Yeah, I don't remember. There was like there used to be like ESPN video games. I don't know which one you're talking about, but yeah, I think
maybe it was ESPN.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I remember playing. Oh, I just got like a core memory unlocked. It was Top Spin. It was Top Spin, right? That was the Xbox game, the tennis game.
Yeah, Top Spin.
I loved that game, and I think I brought it up when we were talking about Mario games, like tennis games in general. For whatever reason, I used to play a ton of that, and it just like popped into my head when I was thinking, "Oh man,
I think Hawk games for the system." Like,
yeah, I think I'm gonna have a lot of really high ranking ones, but I think I'm gonna put this one in A with you.
Okay, yeah, I mean it's an A tier. That's an A tier system. Like I said, I just I still remember opening it and how excited I was. I think by the time I got the Xbox, though, it was the S controller. They did go from the Duke to the S. It also had the breakaway, so if you like pulled your controller, you wouldn't rip your system off the
Oh, that's
S.
right.
Yeah, so that was cool. Like everyone was like, "Ah, yeah!" Like we don't have to pull our controller out of its or our system out of its spot anymore.
Yeah.
That was like the first attempt at. Well, it wasn't wireless, but it made it to where it didn't really matter too much. So it was just cool. It was just a great system. Gears of War, like I can't believe I forgot that. Like everyone's played Gears of War. Like these games were so.
I wasn't a big Gears of War player. I don't.
I love Gears 2 was so good on the 360, man. Like just the quick twitch game. Like I love that for a long time. It was fun. I'm too old now. I am not good at that. Stuff doesn't work like it used to. I don't know.
All right.
Hey, get your mind out of the gutter, bro.
All right, let's take it down a notch. Let's go to the Sega Saturn.
Oof.
I didn't own this. So,
I didn't own it either.
I just assume it's probably, from what I looked up about it, it's like a worse version of the Genesis. And I think we put the Genesis in D. So I'm just gonna assume I'm gonna put it in Y.
Yeah, so my next door neighbor, my dad's friend, had one of these. I didn't play it much. He had so many other things. It wasn't really like, it was like the thing to buy when it came out. It was cool. All the Sega Saturn, like it was cool when it came out, but I don't think it really brought anything to the table. It was kind of like the beginning of the end for Sega consoles.
I feel like if you brought up like a list and like you just like covered up the logo on it, people wouldn't know what it was.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what it was. You took the name off of that and the little set. Yeah, you just wouldn't know like at all. So I go with you. That's also a Y for me. People were trying to capitalize on, the growing console market at the time. Like PlayStation just come out. PlayStation was really humming along. So I don't know.
I think this is the fifth tier list now, and I think this is the one we have the worst rankings on, like the most at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of crap. you gotta wade through it to get to the cream.
Now, they all probably have their fun games. It's just
listen, when you compare consoles over different generations to the golden age, what we're like starting to talk about, like our golden age of gaming, like Xbox Live and internet and like all that stuff, like it just can't compare.
Yeah.
And the Wii U. So, all right, it's your go.
I think I just did the Saturn. It's your
turn. That's right. See, I already forgot about it. That's how crappy it was. Can you scroll down a little bit? Okay. Let's go PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2. There's so many to pick from. All right. So obviously this was the powerhouse PlayStation. This bad boy lasted forever. Games came out for it even after the PS3 had released. They were still just releasing games on the PS2. Again, like it was such a jump from the PlayStation to the PS2. Obviously, its main competition was the Xbox. GameCube was sprinkled in there as well. Again, though, Nintendo went a different direction. Again, not trying to like compete graphics wise, even though GameCube had some of the better Nintendo graphics, I think. I mean, this system had everything. Grand Theft Autos came out on this first. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 3, I don't know if anyone's played it, but that game has just, I played that a lot. That was a freaking fantastic game. Final Fantasy X, I really, really enjoyed as well. I think they had other games like Dark Cloud. They just had so many like Ratchet and Clank, iconic games. It did have internet capabilities later on in its life cycle. SOCOM was another one. I played SOCOM on this system. and through the internet that it did have. It wasn't like an Xbox Live service though. It was very basic. The system was great. Like I said, the longevity it had was really unmatched, and I think is still kind of unmatched in modern consoles. I would consider this modern still, even though it came out in the early 2000s. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tuck this one in the B though, because I don't think it was good. It wasn't as good as an Xbox to me. I got rid of the PlayStation 2 for an Xbox. I'm more of an Xbox stan. PoNGa can't stand it right now, but
you know we're not in the hot takes part, right?
Hey, well, what are you gonna put this in the S tier?
I mean, it's the best-selling console of all time.
That's okay. That doesn't mean it deserves to be in the S tier.
It was much so. I'm a big Xbox guy, and I only buy Xbox, and this was much better than the Xbox.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have like 3 S tiers, and I think this might be one of them.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, PS2 is probably the console I played besides Xbox 360, probably the console I played the most. It's just like countless games, like countless. I don't even know how to start naming them. I mean, all the ones you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I feel like I played more variety of games on PlayStation 2 than I did like the Xbox. Like I said, Xbox, I primarily only played like Halo and a few others.
Well, so PlayStation, definitely has like God of War series. That's another one that I didn't mention. I'm trying to think. I'm drawing blanks on the series. They had so many different games and so many different IPs Sony had. I'm gonna look right now because I feel like a turd. I can't.
I just like. Yeah, you said Resident Evil, Grand Theft
Auto,
Metal
the Resident Evil series,
Ratchet and Clank,
Tony Hawk,
Bully was a great game when it came out.
Bully was a great game. Devil May Cry, Metal Gear Solid series, like so.
Sly Cooper was a good one.
Okami was a fantastic game. All right, so now that I'm looking at this,
Kingdom Hearts,
SSX, yeah, Kingdom Hearts is good. Soul Calibur. Oh man, 31 Twisted Metal. All right, so you're all right. I'm gonna switch now. I gotta switch.
I just like.
All right, I'm gonna put this in A too because they do Jack and Daxter. They have Persona. That Time Splitters. They had so many. Dragon Quest. I'm gonna keep naming them now. Silent Hill.
PlayStation has a ton of games on their systems.
Because that's like when you go back, like IP, not IPs, exclusivity was like a big thing between these systems. Like a lot of these games now are cross-platform.
Yeah.
But they weren't at the beginning. Like I said, Silent Hill was just a PlayStation title. Gran Turismo, PlayStation title.
Yeah, this is definitely. I have to put it S tier, and I'm going against how I normally do tier lists. I feel like I typically like try to be objective when it comes to tier lists, but I'm putting a little bit of my own nostalgic bias in here. There's like I said, there's just so many games that I couldn't even name them until I looked them up because my head couldn't focus on one of them. But yeah, I'm going S.
All right, so I'm going to switch from B to A because after looking at that list of games,
so I typically like hate judging things based off how well they sold or how popular they are. But like, there's a reason why it sold that many units. Like nothing's close to it outside of like handhelds. Nothing's
and
close.
They had multiple system redesigns as well.
Yeah,
the PlayStation 2, then the PlayStation 2 Slim version, super small. Like they just they kept pumping them out. Like Sony was very good with following the times and following like what the other developers or not developers, but the other console makers were doing as well. Like Xbox got smaller. Everything started getting smaller. So they followed that for a little bit, and then they went to the PlayStation 3 after this, and it just got gigantic. So I don't know.
And I also think the PS2 controller, even though I think PlayStation controllers used to be small. I mean, PS2 was when I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
I like the PS2 controller better than the original Xbox controller, I think.
So it's better than the Duke. It's not better than when they switched to the S. The controller S was a better first-person shooter controller by far.
Yeah.
PlayStation definitely was more platformer-ish games. So that didn't really mean much. I mean, the Killzone 2 was another one. That's not even here. Killzone was another game that was like their first-person shooter to try and go after Halo, which I played a lot on PS3. It was a great game. But all right, so there you go. I can't give it an S though. I don't know why.
That's okay. I have a lot of S's when it comes to these, I think so.
I know you do. You like throwing those S tiers out.
Yeah.
All right.
I like throwing the objective facts out there. This is all facts.
All right, your go.
I just did PlayStation. Oh no, you did do PlayStation.
I did PlayStation 2, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get the other one that I never owned. So the Sega Master System.
Yeah, you could just put that in Y. Also, we don't even need to talk about it.
Probably, like I said, it probably isn't Y.
Look at that. Hold on, can you blow that back up real quick? Look at that horrible controller design.
That's how they were designed back then, though.
Like that's such a bad knockoff of the NES controller. It's not even funny.
I don't know. The original NES controllers are also terrible.
Yeah, but it's the original NES controller.
Oh, okay.
It's different. It's different. You can stick that in Y though. That's the second Sega system in Y. Woof.
All right. What do you want to go with next?
Oh my goodness. I want to save some. Let's go NES.
All right.
Perfect. All right. So I owned one of these. My father owned it, really, but I was a little kid. My parents tell me this story all the time, so I'm going to tell this story now, or they did tell me this all the time. When I was younger, I played this system a lot. I guess I was playing it too much, so my parents took it away and put it in a paper bag above the refrigerator in a cabinet, and it was like taped shut. Well, in the middle of the night, I got up, I pulled my little play school lunch table over and put my chair on top of it and got a pair of scissors and I cut a hole in the bag and pulled the system out and hooked it up to the television and played it. I was young, really, maybe 4 or something like that. And they woke up in the middle of the night hearing the noises from it. They came out and there I was sitting on the floor playing the system. So I love the system. Played it a lot as a kid. Obviously don't remember much from when I first started playing because I was little, didn't really know much, but Super Mario 3, we've talked about these. Punch Out, endless hours of fun on Punch Out. That King Hippo is the funniest shit of all time. This system, and I mostly played the Mario games as a kid. I like Dr. Mario. My father didn't have many games for the system, but he had those, and like those are the games that you were playing when they came out. So I really love this system. Big nostalgia factor for me. I remember blowing into the cartridges. I could remember opening the little top, sticking it in, pressing it down. Like it was just like a cool thing being young and having something like that. That being said, it's old. It's an old system. Graphics weren't that great. Again, like if we're going to talk crap on
this is when Beerski gets canceled.
Yeah, we're going to talk crap on the Atari 2600 about how this was another gap bridger. Like this brought other things into the house that you couldn't have in the arcade. It led to bigger and better things. It's just so hard ranking these, dude. Like, I don't know. Man, I'm gonna just put this. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B just because of what it is. And I know that we say that we don't do that, but I feel like anything less than a B is just a slap in the face for the console.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, it is a little older, but it's a lot different than something like the Atari. Like it has its own standout games on it.
Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
I had cool peripherals for the system too. Like Duck Hunt was cool for what like that was. And that was in the 80s that released. So that's wild.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a little before my time. So I actually, at my parents' house, I still have this in the closet at their house. I think it was actually like my mom's. So this was like way before my time when it came out. There was much better systems out at the time when I started getting into gaming. But I mean, even I know all the Mario games. I've played all of those games. I've played all the iconic NES titles. Um, you said what, B? I think B is probably fair. And I
Yeah,
think,
yeah, like Kid Icarus, Ness, like all that stuff, like all those cool games that like.
yeah, I think I would rate it a lot higher if I actually like grew up with it, because the people that were the age to like this being their first system and like really, really grew up with it, I feel like outside of you, um, really, really love this and like would probably rate this like A or S. Um,
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I do believe that. I'm trying to be a little,
yeah, I didn't play it enough to rate it any higher than that. I think B tier is pretty fair, especially with how old it is. Still rating it that high is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I also think just those games that came out for it just have long. Like I will still pick up Super Mario 3 and play it
Yeah,
original.
those
Like
games aged. The platformers, like the 2D
aged
platformers,
so
aged
well,
well.
and like
Yeah,
like everyone's played those levels. Like I can see those levels. Like you can run through those levels in your head sometimes because you've just played them so many times. Because like saving wasn't a thing back then. You were just kind of like playing as much as you could, and then it would get turned off, or someone would unplug it, and that would just be the end of it for you. So
yeah, and
yeah,
eventually they did come out with the Wishbone controller that took those harsh edges away from the controller that should have never been on a controller, because those it's just terrible. The controller
go
should all be
either
rounded, like the
kill your sibling with that brick, man. Like
yeah.
for
You like
sure.
hold it for like 20 minutes and your hand starts getting sore.
Yeah. Well, that's why you see the people that play the system now, like they do the claw grips and all this crazy stuff with it. All right, so that's the NES. Nice B.
Should we do the Super Nintendo next?
We could do the Super Nintendo next.
So I don't think I ever owned one that I remember.
I never owned one either. I played it in my dentist office as a kid, in my babysitter's house.
Yeah, I've definitely played it before, like a lot, but I don't think I actually owned one. Maybe we did. I'd have to double check if I still have this. I feel like I had some games laying around, but I couldn't find the system. But I mean, Super Nintendo's like known for like some of like the highest rated games all time. Um, when it comes to specifically Nintendo systems. But yeah, I mean, I just didn't own it, so I don't know. Do I rate it based on how I think other people like it, or do I just throw a letter out there? Because I don't think I could put it below the NES, because I think it's just like a better version of the NES.
that's fair. I think it's like a parallel move. It's not really, you know what I mean? Like I feel like
Yeah, it wasn't like super. It wasn't like this crazy updated version outside of like a little graphics, but
yeah, and so that was Nintendo's bread and butter. Just the little graphical upgrade, make it look nicer. They did that with the Game Boy Color to the Game Boy Advance, and it was a nice jump, but um, it didn't really change all
you
that
know
much.
what? I want to put NES in C and put the Super Nintendo in B.
Okay.
Where do you want it?
Oh man, I like I said, I feel like it's lateral. It's like a lateral move. Um, it really didn't do much for me. Like I said, I didn't own one either. I think I skipped that That's probably when I got the Game Gear, or not the Game Gear, the Genesis. So that was the jump for me, and I went to Genesis. And I got the Genesis from my neighbor in like 20 games. So
Yeah.
it was just throwing random. But so I like I said, I didn't play it that much, but it's definitely not worse than the NES.
Yeah.
I know some people are screaming right now because it's just a lot of people's favorite console. So
Yeah, it's just like it's hard, like we said. I mean, it's like I just didn't grow up with it, so it's hard for me to rate it. And I'm sure a lot of games are a lot of fun. I'm sure people will say, "Oh, what about this game? What about that game? It's one of the best games ever." I'm sure it is. I just haven't played it, so I
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
I want to be honest and not just make up stuff.
Well, yeah,
So
100%. Definitely should be honest. Like, and that's why the last tier list we did, there was a bunch that we didn't actually get into. You know what I mean? Like, just didn't know about because there's so much. But I think being honest is the best thing, and you rank them the best you can. Like, not everyone's played everything. It's going to be impossible unless you were like really deep in the rabbit hole. Then,
yeah,
all right. Oh man, there's just so many systems still. Let's go.
Let's rapid fire a couple.
All right. Dreamcast. Great idea, horrible execution. I don't know. I think Sega got in its own way with this system, unfortunately. There were a bunch of cool games on it. There was a bunch of cool stuff that it could have done. The controller was terrible. It was like a worse Duke controller. I played, I think, exclusively 2K something on this with my best friend. That's essentially what we played on it. We really didn't get any deeper into it. It kind of just died off, man. Like Xbox, PlayStation came out like right after this and just submarined it. So, man, poor Sega systems. That's just like bad. Like, I don't want to give it a D, but I think I'm gonna have to give it a D.
Were the do you know if the old 2K games were Sega exclusive? Because their publisher is Sega.
I think they were Sega exclusive. Then they were because that 2K. Who was on? I think it was Terrell
NFL. It
Owens.
was 2K1. NFL was Randy Moss.
Oh, it was Randy Moss.
Yeah, and then the NBA one was Allen Iverson. I remember playing that one.
Yeah, played that.
I'm just looking up I'm looking at the best-selling Dreamcast games, and like more than half the list is sports games.
Yeah, like they didn't
and
do.
What
was their Sonic game for that? Sonic 3D, right?
No, Sonic Adventure.
Sonic Adventure. Okay.
Sonic Adventure was the number one selling at 2.5 million. Compare that, like there was only 5 games that sold over 1 million copies. Soul Calibur, Resident Evil. We're supposed to rapid fire this. Okay, I'll just say, like when I was younger, I thought the Dreamcast was the coolest thing in the world. Like I said with the Genesis, but I don't remember playing it. So you said you put it where?
I said I put it in a D, dude. It only lasted 2 years, not even.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it there as well.
It released in the U.S. in '99, September 9th, and then it was discontinued March 31st, 2001. It didn't even go 2 full years.
The Sega killer.
Dude, we were the same. Yeah. Well, they knew that we were going to do this tier list 20 years ago. So there you go. Dreamcast D.
All right. I'm gonna do the
Xbox One.
Yeah, Xbox One. So after, oh God, I don't know where I want to rate this. So huge Xbox guy, especially since like the 360, but this might be like the worst Xbox to come out.
It's the worst Xbox to come out, unfortunately.
It's still good, but
it's still 10 years later. I bought it in 2014. It still runs.
Yeah, I mean, mine still works as well. I think my wife plays some games on it.
I bought this to play Destiny.
Yeah.
That's why I bought this system. I bought it to play Destiny. Which, let me tell you, great fucking game. If you haven't played it, it's different now than it was, and I'm sorry I'm segueing into it. I have to. Destiny was such like a great idea. It was by the studio that made Halo. It's got like extremely convoluted over the past couple of years. There's almost too much to do in it, and when you log in now, it feels like you can't catch up ever. So they need to streamline a bunch of stuff. I also think it's dying. I think they've hit their 10-year mark and it's about to fizzle out. But I bought this system for that, just so I could play Destiny, and I loved it. And I still, like I said, I still have this system. It's my wife's probably watching something on it right now. It's in our bedroom. It's our bedroom, like, Fire Stick, essentially. It's just an Xbox One. So great system. Not great. Worst Xbox system there was. It really didn't. It was another lateral move for Xbox. Like, it didn't bring much more from the Xbox 360 to this. There was a huge jump.
I'm kind of like in between, because I don't dislike any of the Xboxes. Where did we put? We put it in A. I think this one might be. I'm between C and B.
I'm throwing it in the C tier.
I think C tier might be. I mean, I played it a ton, but it's like there's nothing unique about it. There's nothing
No.
stand out at all.
And I feel like so that's the problem that's going to start happening with some of these systems we're about to
Yeah,
talk about, because there is a lot of system identity. Talk about set identity in Pokemon. Well, system identity is a huge thing for consoles. And I think once all the exclusives went away, you lost that. It used to be like PlayStation people did not like Xbox at all. Xbox people did not like PlayStation at all. I kind of didn't care, played everything.
yeah.
But,
those people are nerds because
and then you had
there's good
the
stuff to play on
PC
both of them.
players in the back wearing the hoods, like touching their fingers together, watching everyone fight about silly stuff.
Go cry about aim assist some more, nerds.
All right.
You get to use your whole arm to aim. I have to use my thumb. Okay, yeah, I think
keyboard
C's
or mouse, man. PoNGa sour about it.
No, I used to play on keyboard and mouse. I just prefer controller.
I like controller too. I play all controller. I have an Xbox Elite 2 controller for PC gaming. It's nice. All right. So I guess it's my turn now, right? Is it me? I keep forgetting who it is. There. Oh, there it is. Hot.
Yeah, I got a Scuff.
Does it have paddles on the back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the Elite controller copied these. A Scuff gaming controller.
All right. So you see the paddles on the back of this.
Yes, Scuff was like the original paddle controller.
Okay. Okay. All right. We're gonna go to the next one. Let's go. Let's go Xbox Series X.
Yeah, so I didn't put the Series S on it because it's just like a dumbed down version of this.
Yeah, it's internet only essentially. Kind of like PlayStation 5 has an internet and discs. They're internet only and a disc one. System's cool. It's this tower looking thing. It's powerful. It's got a ton of processing power. I think the graphics card's comparable to like a 3 series, like a GTX 3 or RTX like 3600 or whatever the series are for the PC graphics cards that's in this system. So it's a powerhouse of a console. Again, though, like you said, like a lot of it now is just like all the games are out for every system. So you either like your Xbox or your PlayStation. It's pretty much essentially where you want to have your achievements go. Is essentially what you're after, because I can play any game against anyone now, almost online, and you're just playing console versus console. It's really not it's not like Xbox versus Xbox anymore. So again, I think they're all getting kind of lost in the shuffle. I've kind of separated myself from consoles recently and gone more PC gaming. I have an Xbox Series S in my living room. I just got that because it's just nice, easy family time gaming. I didn't, opt for this one. It's nice, but when I already had a PC, like I didn't need to get another console. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this in the B tier. I don't think there's really much more to say about it. Again, the amount of graphic and processing power that these systems have now are crazy. And when they came out, I think their graphics card was better than the graphics card that I had in my PC that I upgraded. But what they can do and for how long they can milk these systems too now is kind of impressive. But yeah, I think a solid B.
Yeah, so this is actually what I use the game on right now. The highlight is that you could play 120 frames, which to PC people isn't that impressive, but for a console to be able to do that, it's pretty good. I will say, like, all the games that run on it, like, they all run really, really smooth, and I don't know, it's just a solid system. With that said, I think it's going to be the last one that I primarily game on. I think with how easy it is to have a controller on PC now, I think I'm going to eventually move that way. But
it's the cost, and so that's the thing. Like, people are afraid of PC cost. But once you build the PC, they last for a lot longer than I think people think they do. You can upgrade. You can make them
Yeah, that's
upgradable.
my problem. Is I'm gonna want to upgrade it every other month. But I don't know. It's just super solid. I mean, I have it sitting right next to me. I'm looking at it. It's just solid. It's quiet. I really like how, like you said, powerful. I mean, you could like the quick start ability they have with games now, where it like keeps it open in the background, and you could switch from game to game like just by a click of a button, and it like instantly opens where you were just playing on your past game. Is pretty nice. Yeah, but it's primarily a system where I play Halo with you, I play Call of Duty, and then I
Yeah.
play MLB The Show, which is the reason why I still have a console, because you can't play that on PC.
So hold on, is the show part of the Ultimate Xbox Ultimate or Game Pass? The Game Pass?
So it is
It's
on
part,
Game. It's day one Game Pass, but I buy it every year because if you buy it, you get it like 4 days early.
so Game
So
Pass you can play on PC.
so I don't think you could play the show on PC, and if you can, no one does because it's full of cheaters.
Oh, because of the internet and just like the PC.
Yeah,
aspect.
PC sports games are never the move, because like if you play Ultimate Team modes, the marketplaces are usually separate as well, and it's just dead.
Okay.
Like with Xbox, PS5 and the Switch, you could play the show together, and it's one marketplace, and
Oh, okay.
there's just so many users on it that like you could buy and sell cards super quick. So yeah, but with that said, I think I'm gonna put it in B.
Okay.
You said B as well?
I said B as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
B tier makes
it's
sense
just
for me.
solid.
Yeah. It's a solid system. Like I said, it's there's no bells and whistles to it though. Like it's just a powerhouse in a black box. Like that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
I feel like has anyone ever seen the show Silicon Valley? If anyone's ever seen it, there's like an episode where they're trying to make a black box or a box to use. It's like a data storage box. And like they're thinking of all these ideas, and the guy like who's running the show comes in and he goes, "No, I just want it in a black box." And then they make a black box. And that's what they put it in. So it's kind of fun, and that's what it reminds me of. All right, your turn.
I'm gonna do the PS4.
Okay.
So I didn't own this for most of its life cycle. I bought my friend's used PS4 just to play the show, and that's all I ever played it for. With that said, it was pretty solid. Like the times I did play it, the controller felt good, even though it was a little small, I think. And funny enough, my wife actually still plays the PS4. She likes like The Last of Us and all that kind of stuff. She's played that a few times, the Spider-Man games, stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's just a solid console. I think I'd still put it in B tier.
Okay. So I got one of these for my wedding, actually. It was like a gift from a couple friends to lure me over from the Xbox Destiny to play Destiny on PlayStation, which worked. I came over. I played most of my Destiny career was on a PS4. I think that's the only game I played on it. Doom, when Doom came out, again, you're talking like everything was available for everything. So I played Doom on the system. There was a couple, Call of Duties. Obviously, I played a few Call of Duties and stuff like that, the normal FPS stuff. But again, it's a BC console. It didn't offer anything crazy. It wasn't doing it. Nothing new happened from it. That the more we rank these now, like I'm kind of aggravated about how little you get in consoles nowadays. Like it's nothing. There's really no reason to have any console loyalty, any manufacturer loyalty in this space anymore, because
Yeah, it's just whichever one you like better now.
Yeah, except for like the Halos of the world and stuff like that will stay console exclusive for now.
We'll see. I mean it's just like, it used to be like, well, what are all my friends gonna buy? What games? Yeah. And it's like, it's just, what shape box do you want now?
That's it. Yeah. What logo do you feel like staring at? So I'm gonna go ahead and just give this I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna give it a C because I could have played Destiny on the Xbox One.
And now that I think of it, we put the The Xbox One and C, so I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. It's not, you know what I mean? Like they're kind of the same. All right. All right. I'm gonna go PlayStation 3. The Spider-Man station, as I like to call it, because they use the Spider-Man lettering on the outside.
Yeah.
Um, I think this is one of the worst designed looking
Oh, I
consoles
like
out
it.
there. The gloss finish was awful, scratched so easily, looked terrible. You would go over your nasty friend's house and be fingerprints and smudges all over it. So yeah, I don't know. I played a lot of Killzone 3 on this system, Ratchet and Clank, the Uncharted series. Like this is when they really started like pumping out a lot of those games, starting to look really nice. The Tomb Raider games are looking nice on it. Another solid system. It's crazy thinking back like how many systems I've actually owned and played. And most of these I've owned and played. It felt like a PlayStation 2. It felt like a PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? Graphics were better. I think what was it? Was it Little Big World? What was that? Small Planet? There's a couple.
Something like that.
I can't remember it now. Like all the people are like these little like plushy, like knitted characters, and it was just that was another cool little game that they created.
Little Big Planet. I think you got half and half on what you said.
Loco Roco. I don't know if I ever played that game. That Loco Roco was a sweet fucking game too. So it just had a bunch of like, and again, PlayStation did such a better job at having like platformer style titles. If that's what you were looking for in your gaming like experience, that's what you would go for a PlayStation. I was more of an FPS guy, but that's just me. So I'm going to also give this system just a solid C.
So I think I like this one better than the PS4.
Okay.
So it's funny. A quick story. Back in the day, Best Buy used to have a deal where if you bought a Sony TV, that you would get a free PS3.
I remember that deal.
Yeah, somehow I convinced my parents to buy a new TV, and I got a PS3. So this was like my main console when it came to. So I was a huge Call of Duty player, and I primarily played on PS3 when World at War came out. I think.
Oh, great game.
Yeah, it's my favorite Call of Duty ever.
Love the World
that's
War
probably
II.
that's probably an unpopular opinion, but yeah, I think this is just another one of those solid ones. I think I'd still put it in B. Was this this had Blu-ray, right?
This was the first system to have Blu-ray.
Yeah,
actually,
that's why it was like
that was so well because it was cheaper to buy a PlayStation 3 than it was to buy a Blu-ray player. Yeah. And Sony was so.
But I think they lost money selling them, didn't they?
At first, but they got everyone on Blu-ray took over.
The other thing that really sours me about this system, though, is like this is when the PlayStation Online went down for like 2 months.
See, I didn't remember that.
Yeah,
because I wasn't playing. I must not have been playing at that time. Because I listen. So I was working at GameStop at this time, so I was playing every console, and a lot of it just kind of melds together now. But this was, oh man, like I said, tons of Killzone 3. I really liked that game. That game was probably one of the better first-person shooters I played multiplayer-wise around that time. It's unfortunate that it was on the PlayStation, though.
So I think I'm gonna put it in. I think I'm gonna put it in B with the other ones.
All right, so that'll be between B and C.
Some of these pictures are so horizontal. Now we got a bunch of mid now.
Well, there's one not mid there.
There's several that are not mid here.
Yeah.
Wait, did you pick PS3 or did I pick PS3?
I picked PS3.
All right, let's just. All right, we'll do PS5 just to get all the PlayStation. We'll try to get rid of all those ones. I don't own one. I don't think I've ever played a PS5.
Haven't owned, haven't played. I'm assuming it's very similar, just with a new controller to everything else. Probably
a B or C, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's again, you're not getting anything exciting out of this, and that's one thing I will say for the Nintendo consoles on this
So you want it in B or C?
Let's put it in C.
I will say thank you, Sony, for not making enough of them because PS5s made me a lot of money. Thank you.
PoNGa was doing the PS5 flip.
Hey, if you could make $400 for pre-ordering something that was available for hours, you could have pre-ordered them on Walmart's website for hours.
PoNGa's doing it.
All right.
All right. Let's just finish out PlayStation.
Man, that's a tough one.
All right.
I still own
This is
two.
a tough one.
I own two of these still.
Do you?
Yeah.
Remember the PlayStation Mini?
Yeah.
That was a cool little system. So, listen, the PlayStation. It was the first PlayStation. I think that's another one where you can close your eyes and watch the opening screen to that and listen to it. It used to creep me out. That screen, only because my dad's friend played Resident Evil. So you would just like hear that, and then Resident Evil would load up, and Resident Evil scared the shit out of me as a kid. I think Resident Evil 2, when they just in the beginning when they bust through in the gun shop and they eat that guy, my father looked over at me and I was pale, like just like watching it. I was like horrified by it. So
baby Beerski.
It kind of scared me, that noise for a long time. But like I think the games like Metal Gear Solid, where you had to actually switch your controller around to play when you were playing, what was it, the Mantis character or whoever you were playing against in that, towards the end, he would just like switch it. You had to take your controller out of port 1 to put it into port 2. So it was stuff that like you couldn't do prior. You could start doing with these systems and doing, with the consoles that were coming out. Final Fantasy games obviously came out for this system. Final Fantasy 7. Everyone's that played Final Fantasy game has played that. Great game. Grand Theft Auto series was on it. Obviously not the Grand Theft Auto that, was in PS2, but that was on there as well. Gran Turismo, played the Gran Turismo games on here. So I also had a PlayStation. It was a great system for what it was worth. I think I traded it in for a 64 though. And that's still to be talked about. I'm going to give this system also, and again, it sounds bad to say this one. I'll give Sony PlayStation. I'll give it a B because it was like the first disc-based system as well, like one of the first that actually did it right. What was it? CD wasn't before this, was it? Sega CD.
I don't remember the. I think Saturn was also disc.
Yes. So I don't
remember the timing though.
Remember the black back discs?
Yeah.
They had the black backs and the blue backs before they were Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So I think it's a B. I'm going to give this system a B. I can't go lower. I can't go lower than that because of what it is and like what it started, and like some of like the best console RPGs of all time are on it. Final Fantasy VII's the glaring obvious one for that, but.
Yeah, so this system came out the year I was born. Fun fact. So it's turning 30 years old this year.
I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those ones I grew up with. I remember we used to have like one of those like small TV stands with like the sides like were opening and you could stack stuff on them. We had stacks and stacks of PS1 games.
That's awesome.
But I don't remember what any of the games are. That's the problem.
Well, so that happens, especially when you're a kid. Like you're just playing anything and everything because it's there. Like
think so. This is probably the second best Sony console, and I had the PS2 and S, so I think I might have to put this in A.
Okay.
I love this as a kid. I mean, it's better than like the things like we put in B tier.
I think
it's better than like these mid tier consoles. I think.
I mean, so this was like the game that I played like Tony Hawk on the most.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk, I think 2 came out for that system as well. There was some like the Ricky Carmichael games, the BMX games, like all those games. So that's like when you start getting into that. Like I started getting into more.
Yeah, I used to play a ton of those games.
X game style stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it was a fun system. It's just like there's so much to play, and like there's just so much on this list that it's hard to like really rank things correctly. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got down to the last 3 consoles here.
Yeah, only hour 15 minutes in. Let's go.
We're here for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. Not
Um,
necessarily a good time, but hopefully, yes.
no, definitely a good time. All right, let's just
S
yeah. Yeah.
tier system. This
Yeah.
is the system. Xbox 360 is the fucking system, minus the red ring of death shit that happened,
No, you just
which
buy
was
a new
like,
one. Who cares? It
which
wasn't your
was
money
like
probably anyways.
the biggest like mark and demerit on its record. Xbox Live system, like Xbox Live started up.
Best
Halo,
controller, maybe.
yeah, best controller of all time. Like Halo 2, just like Halo 2, man. Like that just changed online gaming, I think, for everyone. It was just such. Halo 3 came out on this system, college years. So like I obviously just played a ton of Halo on this. I've just
Dude.
hours and hours and hours at my home, sitting with my feet up in my bedroom, playing this, listening to System of a Down, Mesmerize and Hypnotize albums in 2005. Like I just endless gaming on these systems. S tier. It's my S tier system on here. Um, there might be one more S tier system on here, but this is like the S tier system for me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was a huge Call of Duty guy in PS3. I bought a 360 just to play with my friends, and it was way better. Everything about it. I had multiple 360s. I bought one from someone when I first got one. I bought a used one, and then I bought the MW2 version 360.
Which that game was so good on there too.
Yeah,
multiplayer, like
it's like it's one of those things I'll just never forget. Like summer, going to the pool, then going home and playing Xbox literally for 12 hours straight till your eyes bleed.
in your air conditioning, but you're still sweating because you're just playing video games.
Yeah, I mean, I used to play in like Call of Duty tournaments on the system. It was like those stupid network adapters.
Oh, the wireless network adapter that you plug into the back. Terrible.
Dude, we had when I was younger, we had a tube TV like in our basement TV, like it was our nice TV. And then, when TV started getting better, we moved the tube TV up into my bedroom. Dude, having a nice like a nice chair sitting in front of the tube TV for like 10 hours straight, man.
Yeah. Too,
and that was this system. And it's just like I might have played 90% of the time I was playing Call of Duty on it, but it just was that good that it's still an S tier for me.
It's so good. Like the fact that you could play Halo online was the biggest. Like that was the biggest thing. Like obviously, like Xbox Live came out before that, for the original Xbox, but it just like, and you could play regular Halo online then through XboxConnect.com, but it was really like bad. But once you could play Halo like that, I feel like Halo 2 on Xbox Live really just like opened up everything. It really just really blew up. I don't know. It just S tier. Endless. The most hours I've logged into any console was on the Xbox 360.
Yep. For sure. And it's not even close. I mean,
not even close.
I think, I don't know how much time I have, but I know one of my best friends had like, I don't know, like 60 days of playtime just on one Call of Duty. So I'm sure I was up there with him.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So I will say the original Xbox, I played Rainbow Six 3 on that. Hundreds of hours of Rainbow Six 3. Because that game was just all like one shot headshots and stuff. It was very tactical. Like that was a good game. But yeah, endless hours. Halo was probably in the thousands of hours. I'm not even gonna lie. Like there was just so much Halo played. So much Halo. So S tier, baby.
Oh.
Excuse me. All right, the last two.
All right. This one's really tough for me. I'm gonna do GameCube.
What cute little system.
Got it on release. Luigi's
Did you have
Mansion.
the indigo color one?
Yeah, obviously. I'm not a loser.
No platinum GameCube for you?
Come on, dog. Outside the 360 controller, probably the best controller.
That's a stretch.
I mean, you're an idiot. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like
the abuse,
dude. It's just like all the games on the system still hold up today. I was just recently playing GameCube games. I remember over, the time I had off for work for Christmas, I played like the Rocket Power game and beat it again. Fantastic game. Like my wife and I in college used to always play Backyard Baseball. Fantastic game. And then there's like all the ones like Luigi's Mansion, first mainstream or main title Luigi game.
Yeah.
And all the typical Mario Party, Mario Kart. I think it's got the best Mario Kart on it as well. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. It is definite S tier for me.
Nice. Okay. So another iconic system start with the blocks turn into the GameCube. This is when you started getting like Resident Evil's released for Nintendo systems. They started putting their big boy pants on a little bit with this system. Unfortunately, after that, they kind of pivoted back away from this was like they were becoming angsty teenagers wanting to do cool stuff with this system. I love the little carry handle. They made it very easy.
Got the best Smash on it too.
Dude, Smash was great. This allowed you to finally
Animal
do my
Crossing.
childhood dream of playing Pokemon on the TV. That was the coolest fucking thing for me ever. It's all I wanted to do as a kid was play Pokemon on the big TV, and this allowed me to do it. So huge props to that. I can't S tier this system. I know. I think the 64
it's got the best Mario Kart, the best Smash, the best Mario game in Sunshine. It has Animal Crossing, dude.
Sunshine's not the best Mario game, PoNGa.
Dude, can I tell you how many hours I played the Simpsons Road Rage on GameCube?
Oh. Simpsons Road Rage. So that's another great game. Crazy Taxi, stuff like that. I would give.
Do you go in the settings? You change the date. You get like the Halloween Bart car.
Back when you could do stuff like that. Change the date to get the cool stuff in game.
You go 40 years ahead in Animal Crossing, and your whole place is all messed up.
I like how he assumed I was going to say this is an A tier system.
I knew you were going to go with that. You're going to go less than that?
Yeah, I think the Wii is a better system than GameCube. I'm sorry. So I will give. I'm going to give it a B. You can stick it there. That's fine. I think my favorite part about these podcasts is breaking PoNGa's heart during the tier lists. Look at him. He's distraught. All right. We're going to go with the N64. That's an S tier system. S tier. Dude, 3D Mario, 3D Zelda, Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, again in 3D. Just it jumped. Everything jumped Nintendo wise for me. PoNGa's hating me so much right now. Look at him. I don't know what to tell you, dude. I played way more N64 than I did GameCube.
GameCube was like a terrible sell. It's one of the worst selling consoles of all time.
It just was, again,
which is hilarious because now like everyone loves it.
But everyone loves it. Yeah. Well, it aged better than it was. I think the N64. I mean, listen, one of the worst controllers of all time.
It's the worst, but I love it at the same time.
When you go back to try and play it now, it's so like it's been years since I've tried playing with an N64 controller. But GoldenEye on the N64. I think if anyone's Perfect Dark Zero. There was a lot of good games on this.
For the record, don't go back and play GoldenEye. I tried to. Just
don't. It ruins the experience for you. It ruins it.
Keep that good memory in your head.
It's impossible. The aim, everything is so poor.
Don't go back.
It's so bad. You have to use the C buttons to even do stuff. Like, it's bad. But it was such a jump for Nintendo. It was such a jump for the games that we played, that we all grew up with, that we all loved. I think based on that, I did say S tier. It's not an S tier. I'm gonna stick it in A tier. I think it's an A tier console. It was the last cartridge system for Nintendo. It was the last major cartridge system. Sony had already released PlayStation with discs. Xbox was coming out a couple of years later. So really, it was fighting up against PlayStation at the time and the Dreamcast. And it wasn't Dreamcast. It was Sega Saturn at that point. So it was just Sony, Nintendo, and Nintendo answered pretty resoundingly with this system, I think, against Sony. They really took their games to a new level. So I think A is deserved.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said it multiple times in 5 episodes now, but my wife recently kind of refurbished my old one when I was a kid for a Christmas present, and then I went out and bought an EverDrive 64, which is basically a cartridge, and then you could put like an SD card in the cartridge and get basically all the games. And so I've been playing a lot of them. A lot of those games that like the iconic games still hold up really well. I mean, obviously Super Mario 64, but even like Diddy Kong Racing, Banjo-Kazooie, Smash, Mario Kart, Mario Party. Yeah, I mean, there's just
Mario Tennis, Mario Baseball, everything Mario. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's tough for me because
great South Park game came out on that system too. I can't remember it, but
there was 2 South Park games. I think
I loved peeing, throwing the pea snowballs was the best. Great.
Yeah, I mean, Donkey Kong 64 was a good game, even though you need the expansion pack, so I can't play it. Majora's Mask, Ocarina, one of the best games of all times. Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, dude, Ocarina of Time. Again, I've purchased that game endless times for being re-released.
I feel like I like it just as much as GameCube, but GameCube's more nostalgic for me. I think the WCW game. Fantastic game.
Oh,
pulling out a chair from under the ring and hitting people with it.
What was that called? It wasn't Warzone. That was
Revenge or something.
Warzone.
What was it?
WCW versus NWO Revenge.
Yeah.
So, oh man, there was a commercial when I was a kid that came out, and they were singing a Christmas jingle, and that was one of like the lines in it. And that's the only reason I remember that right now is because I can remember the kids singing it in my head. And like, it was just all the games that were coming out for all the systems. And they were just listening them in like a little jingle to go to, I think, like Toys R Us or something.
Yeah. It's funny. You mentioned the pulling the controller and pulling the console off. So the first time I set it up, I put it up on a shelf and I pulled the controller and the system fell and cut the wire of my controller.
No.
Yeah, one of my ones that is like 20-something years old or whatever. Yeah.
Jeez. That's bad luck.
Yeah, I don't know.
Before you even started playing it, you just like jacked it up like that?
Yeah, right when I started playing.
Oh my God. Now we got to go buy you a new controller.
What did you put it in?
A.
Yeah, I'm between S and A, and I really want to put it in S, but I don't know if I can. I think I might like GameCube a little better.
Yeah, I mean, it could be an S tier console. Like I said, S at first. It's not Xbox 360 like for me though. But I mean, the games on it, just Ocarina of Time alone is just so good.
I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm putting in S.
Look at you go.
So I have 4S.
Yeah. What begins with the letter S?
Super smart.
Not where I was going, PoNGa.
Oh, we have a good variety here. I mean, look at all the different tiers we filled out.
No, we did good.
So you only had one. You only had one S. Huh? You only had one S.
Yeah, I listen.
You're not a gamer. You're not a gamer.
What the fuck? How dare you? How dare you? Listen, I know you're feeling saucy tonight, but you tell me I'm not a gamer.
No, you took everything out of me when you rated GameCube a B.
Well, yeah, because it's a B console.
You're just so dumb.
It's definitely not an S.
I could play Pokemon on the big screen. B tier.
Oh yeah, I could play Pokemon on my GameCube or my Game Boy. I don't know, man. What do you want me to say? Maybe I said it just to get your goat. You'll never know now.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our tier list. So PoNGa with his 4 S's and my 1 S. We only have one at the actual S tier, and that's the Xbox 360, PlayStation 2, and N64 round out the A plus. Xbox is an A, GameCube's an A, and then Wii's a B, PlayStation is a B, or B pluses, and then everything under that is kind of a mishmash of, like more modern consoles with a couple of older ones in there that just deserve to be where they were.
Did you say you think the Wii's better than the N64?
No.
You said you liked it better than GameCube. Where did you rank
it better
Wii?
than GameCube, but not better than the N64.
Because I think you rated both an A, right?
The Wii.
I think I rated.
Yeah. I gave the Wii an A, and I gave the N64 an A.
Okay.
With a slight edge to the N64 there.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah, definitely slight edge to that. So that's our tier list, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. We're gonna go on to our next segment now, and that is
after that. I'm dead. I'm dead after that.
Well, now we're going beer pong, so we can amp up the hate now. You can really throw it at me. Beer pong tonight, everyone, is multiplayer games versus Battle Royale. And we say multiplayer, meaning like regular sandbox or arena style multiplayer, not sandboxy. And then Battle Royale obviously is going to be like a Fortnite style or Warzone or any of those kind of games. So which one are you trying to defend tonight, PoNGa?
Multiplayer.
Multiplayer. All right. Why is multiplayer better than Battle Royale?
Halo and Call of Duty.
But Warzone.
Yeah, Warzone's not Call of Duty.
But it's Call of Duty Warzone.
No, it's its own entity.
It's its own entity?
That's right. That's my argument.
That's your argument. That's your whole argument? Ladies and gentlemen, what is this that you're arguing? All right, so Battle Royale.
No, I'll just start with the negatives. Battle Royale ruined gaming, and I think I said that in like a hot take before.
You did.
I mean, everything is paid to. I mean, I don't mind so much the skins, whatever. I think Fortnite kind of made that
annoying.
Yeah, Fortnite kind of made that popular with skins purchasing, but it's like everything's battle pass. Like so, I play a lot of multiplayer Call of Duty. There's like all the cool camos are like bundles that are $20 a piece, and like what happened to the days like COD 4 where like you grind for gold camo and those like the coolest thing in the world and you get all the headshots. Like there's nothing fulfilling anymore.
There's no money in that for the developer though. They want these people to come in and spend $20 on a camo. They're going to use.
Yeah, here, download this free version, but you're going to end up spending $500 over the next year and a half for the battle pass and skins.
Well, multiplayer uses the battle pass now too, correct?
Yeah, because it's all connected, right? So it's one battle pass.
I thought they were different games.
Okay, you know what I mean by that though. Like if you think multiplayer Call of Duty and Warzone are the same thing, like you're just wrong. They're not even close.
I think one's better than the other.
Yeah, so multiplayer, right? What makes multiplayer fun is, at least like I'll use like the Call of Duty or Halo example. I just like being able to mindlessly run around and get into gunfights and know that I'm better than people. Like I'm gonna be able to run around and get kills without even thinking. And obviously, if I want to try really hard, like there's ranked and all that kind of stuff. But like with Battle Royale, I feel
damage.
What?
Damage gets damage.
So, yeah, no, I'll keep that as an inside joke. I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, I just feel like most of us like fell in love with gaming when it comes to like specifically like first person shooter multiplayer games. And, you know, obviously Battle Royales have its own place, and I'm not even going to make that great of an argument, but I just think they've done more damage, and it's more about how much I don't like battle royales as it is how much I like multiplayer games. Okay. I just feel like battle royales, like unless you grind them, it's very hard to be good. Like it's hard to be able to know how to navigate a battle royale map. I guess that's the better way to put it, right? Like a lot of being good at battle royales, like knowing where to rotate for certain circles,
Yes, absolutely.
knowing how to position yourself really well, which is the same as multiplayer, but they're much smaller maps, so it's easier to grasp. And so, I mean, like I'm good at Call of Duty, right? So I'd be pretty decent at Warzone, but it's just like not as fulfilling. I don't know. I just like the arcadey, sandboxy type shooters.
Okay. Um, so like battle royales for
Wrong.
me, yeah, you can leave. That's fine. You don't want to hear the truth anyway. It's okay. I don't know if anyone's ever clutched a battle royale before. Been in the last two, last three. You're down by yourself, and you got
That's
two
because you're
teams
playing
of
scared. That's why you
two or
get so.
three. That's fine, and you clutch it. You can play scared all you want. There are a few things in life that make my heart pump like that anymore. And let me tell you, like the last couple seconds of a battle royale match, no matter what it is, it could be Apex, it could be um, Warzone, it could have been the short-lived Firestorm that what's it called? Battlefield put out for a while for Battlefield 5, which was a really awesome battle royale that just didn't really like stick because they moved to Battlefield 14, 92. I don't know, the shittiest one they ever made that had just stopped. It came out 2 years ago and they already stopped putting stuff into it and just moving on to the next thing. You know, there's just something about hot dropping and getting all the kills you can. There's something to say about doing the grind in there and getting the good guns without having to purchase, like PoNGa said, all this stuff but it has become pay to play. So I will give you that. There is a lot of pay to play aspects to the battle royales. But it also, I mean, esports have taken off since then. Like these battle royales and stuff, like Fortnite has exploded. Twitch, Fortnite is Twitch essentially. Like Ninja was on there, like all these big wigs. You Dr. Disrespect playing
Ninja's
Call of
still a
Duty
bigwig.
Warzone. Huh? Not anymore.
Ninja's
He was.
yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Because he played Fortnite and Fortnite's dead.
Yeah. Well,
Not actually, but
you're so mean. But yeah, I don't know. Battle royales just do it for me. As much as I like getting into Call of Duty matches now and like multiplayer, I feel like I can't keep up with the speed of some of these people with the Kimbo pistols, and as soon as they spawn, I'm dead. And that's not fun for me either. Like I don't want to do that. I'd rather drop and think about it and be in a game for a little bit and position myself to win a game against 100 some other people that aren't respawning a million times. So it was definitely a cool wrinkle on what gaming was for the longest time. I don't know. I like Battle Royale much more. I think that it brought a lot more people and held a lot more. I think they got their talents in people, especially during the pandemic when Warzone came out. Like that was the hottest, newest thing, and everyone had time to acclimatize to playing game styles like that. And now it's kind of hard for people, I think, to go back. It's hard for me to go back. The only one I do now is I play Halo with PoNGa. We play Halo, and I have a great time.
Get carried.
I get carried in Halo by PoNGa. He's actually very good. I'm more of a meat shield, but that's okay.
Nah, you're good too.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Battle Royale upped the
yeah.
ante
I've said it before, and I'm gonna cut you off. But like Battle Royale just ruined Call of Duty, and it just makes me so salty because that like I can't watch Battle Royales anymore. I can't play Battle Royales, and it's my saltiness. It just ruined
I think
Call of
like Modern Warfare 2 was like the last really good like sandbox game, I think, for Call of Duty. Cold War was good too, but Modern Warfare 2 is the best one, I think. I think after that, it all just kind of was the same. And that's the problem. Like, I feel like it's all very much the same.
So Call of Duty went downhill when they introduced, I don't know why I have a pen in my hand.
I've been playing with one the entire time.
Call of Duty went downhill when Warzone came into play because of the tac sprint. And that's primarily introduced because of Warzone being able to double sprint. It ruined like multiplayer timings. Everyone's a crackhead now and runs around like crazy.
That's what I mean. And akimbo guns, like akimbo shotgun, it's like no chance. Or they're just throwing knives at you.
I will say I really like Apex.
Apex Legends. Well, it's a smaller box. It's a smaller. They have multiple maps. It's 60 players, 3v3 versus 100. I mean, when Warzone came out, it was 150 players.
Yeah, I just feel like Warzone 2 is like, what gun can we figure out has no recoiling I could shoot across the map with it? While Apex is like, it's hard to shoot in Apex.
It's
It is
not
hard.
Yes, the gunplay is a little more difficult, but Apex is definitely all like you need to pick your characters right because everyone plays off each other. Like everyone's ults are different. Everyone's not supers. It's Destiny. Everyone's like abilities are different. It is harder to shoot in that game. Once you find a gun though that you like for whatever reason, I love the little full auto pistol. The light full auto pistol is fun.
The RE45, I think.
Yeah, the RE45. That gun slaps, dude. I like it way much more than the R99.
I used to, back in the day, I used to like the R301, and then
R301's all right. The alternator's all right too. I don't. When they had the disruptor rounds, they were so good. So like, and Apex keeps it fresh. They do new things every. It's just different every battle pass.
Yeah, Apex is really the only battle royale I ever played.
Yeah. I like Apex more than I like Warzone now. Warzone, I have a hard time playing.
Does that mean we're going to start playing Apex together?
I'll play Apex. I know the Green Shiz plays Apex too.
I can't carry that guy.
I don't know if you can carry me, PoNGa.
No, I'm salty. He beat me. I'm Dan's first comment on his Monday video every single week, and he beat me today.
Oh no! Well, you hear that, Greenie? Look what you're doing to this poor man.
The only other thing I'll say about Battle Royale is I feel like sometimes, especially if you don't know the map that well, and if you don't play that often, you're probably not going to drop in the most populated area, right? Because you want to get the feel for it. And I feel like it's a looting simulator sometimes.
So that's my biggest complaint against Warzone.
And like you could just get so unlucky and just get none of the guns you like, or
yeah.
I guess Warzone you could buy a
loadout.
Yeah, a loadout.
So that's my biggest complaint about the size of that map. You can run 15 minutes and not see anyone and waste 15 minutes of game time, and then take another 10 minutes to get to a game. Where Apex is, I will hot drop every time because I know I can be in a game in less than a minute. So I think that has a lot to do. I think Apex has more of that multiplayer aspect that you like, where it's like run and gun. It's a little quicker. There is more like, teamwork based stuff, but it's just, yeah. So I don't know. I do like battle royales. I think they're better than multiplayer games now, but I think you're not wrong when you say that battle royales have destroyed like some games, because it's, like you said, when you put everything into something new and shiny, that's what everyone's going to play. And so that's beer pong, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go on to our next segment, and that is rabbit holes. Last week for the rabbit holes, I asked PoNGa to look at the 1997 Koro Pokemon illustration contest and Illustrator Pikachu. And he asked me to look at the 2022 Mario Panini set.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll go first. All right. So the 2022 Super Mario trading card collection consists of 252 cards. There's 72 special cards in the set as well. And they have 3 different like hollow foil patterns to it. There's the box. There's blue like metallic effect to it, and that's for the sports cards that come in the set. So it's just like Mario like tennis, like playing, it's like Mario playing tennis on one of the cards. It's just like, so that's the sports cards. And then there's silver cards that have a silver metallic finish, and then there's gold cards that have a gold metallic effect as well. These are denoted by the little star symbol that pops up on the card. They come in multiple different ways to get the packs. There's an 8-card booster pack. There's 24-card value packs. There's a 32-card kit, which is 4 booster packs. The 144 card kit, which is the booster box that PoNGa just showed us. It comes with 18 booster packs. And then there is a starter set that comes with 1 collector's album, 3 packs, and 1 limited edition card. They have a puzzle set that comes in it as well. That's like a set of 9. So kind of think of I don't know, V-Star Universe cards where you had the 9 cards and they all made one picture. So that's what that is. So there's also a Yoshi, Toad, and Toadette card set where they have different colored Yoshis and different colored Toads and Toadettes. Yeah, it's an interesting little set. I was saying the PoNGa earlier, and I pissed them off when I said it, but I think we're all very spoiled by Pokemon arts. Everything that comes out is newer, bigger, more grandiose. These cards are more or less just like very like promotional item looking. It's just like very generic pictures of the characters. But again, it's Mario wasn't on cards, so put him on there. And again, it's not a trading card game. And he brought that to my attention. I'm just saying, like, when you look at some stuff, and you're like, oh man, I wonder what the art's going to look like this. It's not Pokemon. Like, so Pokemon definitely has spoiled us in arts, and I will say that. So that is the 2022 Super Mario Trading Card Collection.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned it, but the one thing I thought was cool, and I think maybe the reason why a lot of people don't know about it is it was primarily just released in the UK, I think. And so people just didn't know about it. I think Retro used to do it, and I used to do it. I used to open boxes of it and grade the gold cards, which were like, I think I pulled like 11 out of like the 18 packs or whatever it is. So, and then if you pulled like Mario or something and you graded it well, you're doubling your money on the box itself. But yeah, I mean, the fun fact about those is those cards are actually, at least from my experience, pretty hard to grade.
Any
a lot harder than
Pokemon.
So like I'm just gonna pull it out because I have it.
Yeah, you have them right here.
Talking about it. Yeah. So sorry for the sound.
Jeez,
but
mute your mic.
So the cards are like hollow silver background, and they have a ton of print lines in like the lighter shiny part, like horizontal and vertical print lines.
So that's a bummer. Yeah. And you figured a company like Panini would be able to not do that, but
I guess Panini's the worst.
A company like Pokemon wouldn't be doing that too, but
I think Panini's like still like 4 years behind on sports sets. I think they're just coming out with like Ken Griffey Jr. rookie cards.
I don't know much about it. I just know Panini's a name in the sports world. So
yeah, they're trash. All right, so
all right, yeah.
Yeah. Glad you enjoyed looking at that. It was like a super small set, or a small set that I don't think a lot of people know about. So
yeah, I didn't know anything about it at all. It was definitely interesting to read about.
Yeah, so mine was the Korokoro illustration contest. So just some background information on it. So it was originally announced in the November 1997 issues of the Korokoro comic, which was actually released in October. And then the winning entries for the people that entered the illustration contest were then announced in the January 1998 issue, which was released in December 97. So there was basically 3 entrants that received the best award. And those are the cards that are typically like that Mr. Mime that was just in the classic collection, a Polyrath card that is a lot really well known from the vending series. And then the Snorlax. So like the Snorlax has like a more like watercolory kind of look to it. Now the really cool thing I didn't realize, so I think a lot of people recognize these ones from the vending series. So there's actually 3 different versions of most of them. So what the first one, the Mr. Mime specifically has 3 different versions. There's the illustration prize copy. So each winner of these got 20 copies. And they're actually different from the other ones I'm going to mention. So then there's the vending series 1 copy, which I think a lot of people are familiar with. And then there was the red and green gift set copy. So then you might ask, well, how can you tell these apart? So there was this, I went back on like E4 forums and all this kind of stuff, which I don't really go back on that, but a lot of this kind of information's on there. So a lot of people didn't know that you could actually tell the difference between them, but the illustration prize copy is actually non-glossy and has a rarity symbol on it. The vending series 1 copy is glossy and has the rarity symbol. And then the one that was in the red and green gift set was not glossy, does not have a rarity symbol, and features the Korokoro illustration contest text next to the illustrator of the card on the bottom left. So just some fun fact there. Now, what I didn't mention is the winners of this illustration contest actually got a copy of the Illustrator Pikachu, which I think everyone knows at this point, and is not the best trophy Pikachu card out there. Hot take, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's where I'll leave it for now. There was other versions of illustration contests after this that also were awarded the Illustrator Pikachu, but there's all the debates out there, how many copies of the Illustrator Pikachu there are. We all know like the PSA 10 version that was graded by Logan Paul, that was regraded 5,000 times, all that kind of stuff. Fun, like funny enough, I went to the National last year in Chicago, and they had a CGC 10 Illustrator Pikachu, so I got to see that up and close. So that was really cool as well.
Nice.
But yeah, fun little contest. They still have illustration contests now, but they're not as limited with copies of the card. So yeah, it's just a really cool promotional campaign they had back in the day. Yeah, and obviously, if those people kept those cards till now, they're very rich now. Yeah.
They did an illustration contest last year, 2022. It had the Arcanine, Greninja, and
Bulbasaur.
That Bulbasaur art was actually very cool, with all the ones on the ground and him like using his vines to climb up the tree. So, but yeah, much more readily available. I know a lot of people in our Discord and stuff had purchased them and graded them and whatnot. I had a couple graded as well, but I just thought that was going to be something cool and interesting to talk about. I went down that rabbit hole with the what's it called, the vending series, so I figured it would be nice to hear a little bit more about that. But all right, so for next week, our rabbit holes, my rabbit hole for PoNGa is going to be the game Battletoads for the NES. Have fun reading about that one.
Yeah, on topic with the NES, mine for you is Cheetah Men 2 for the NES.
Never heard of this game. Yeah. I have no idea what I'm about to get into.
I was watching this one video so Chase After the Right Price, they like flip video games, and that's their reselling business, and they purchased like this $100 and something thousand collection or whatever, and Cheetah Men 2 was one of the games in there. So there's a fun backstory to what it is and how they were actually discovered.
Awesome. All right. So that takes us out of rabbit holes and brings us to hot takes. All right.
Do you want to start, or do you want me to go first? I don't know if I want to get canceled yet.
All right, I'll go first. So, excuse me. I don't know if anyone has taken the time to go ahead and log into their Amazon Prime account and watch the new Fallout show that just came out. But if you haven't, you should.
No spoilers.
Yeah, if you haven't, you should finish watching this episode, and then the next thing you do is go and put that on. I think it is the best video game to screen adaptation that there's been ever for any video game, show, movie, short, anything. It was probably one of the best opening sequences I've seen in a TV show, just based on anything in a long time. The music score is fantastic. It's done by the same person who does Game of Thrones, Westworld. I unfortunately can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try and murder it, but the dude's a genius when it comes to his music. It's produced by Lisa Joy and her husband, I think not Christopher Nolan. Who are the two Nolan? Jonathan Nolan. Her husband is Jonathan Nolan, and they actually wrote and co-wrote Westworld, and that was one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So them being attached to this was really cool. I was like watching with my wife, and I was like, I need to see who wrote this or who's attached to this, because it feels very Westworldy, and it was them. So like I said, one of the best opening sequences of all time. They have all the vaults and stuff in it. All the characters you come to love and hate in the games are in there. It's acted extremely well. I love it. My wife's not a big person when it comes to violence and stuff in TV shows, but she's watched every episode with me so far. You can watch all 8 episodes. So we're already through 6 of them. We started watching this weekend, like really binging through it. I I really, really enjoy it. So that's my hot take. I think it's better than the Halo show that came out recently. I think it's better than the Mario movie that just came out recently. Like, yeah, you can say whatever you want. Mario movie was all right, but it wasn't
All
right.
right. That movie was great.
It was all right. I'm sorry, Pong. You really thought that movie was great? You give that a great rating?
Dog, Luigi's ringtone at the beginning of the movie? What are we talking about?
All right, and Chris Pratt is Mario. Come on now. How Hollywood is that? I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. Don't like it. Fallout's better than that. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Don't listen to PoNGa. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He hasn't even seen Fallout. Yeah.
Should watch it, but it's good. So just enjoy. Like I said, that first scene, it's like the first 5 minutes of the series might be some of the best opening scene you'll ever see in a TV show. Acted beautifully. So that is my hot take. And now for PoNGa's extremely spicy hot take.
Yeah, so I don't know how I want to phrase it, because I feel like if you just listen to the first sentence I'm going to say, people are going to overreact, but then they just need to let me like explain it, right? So I don't know if I want to say it how I wrote it down, because that was just to. So
I want you to say it as you wrote it down for the world to hear.
Because I don't actually believe that. So it was open world Pokemon games are trash.
Cancel this man.
Yeah. So obviously, like, I really like Legends Arceus. So I don't really include that in this. The ones I'm really referring to are
Scarlet and Violet.
Scarlet Violet. I think Sword and Shield was kind of open worldy, wasn't it?
Only in a couple spots, like Scarlet and Violet.
Was it just Scarlet
anywhere. It's Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a long explanation on this. So I cannot stand when people say Nintendo games or Pokemon games needs better graphics, all this stuff. You're playing a Pokemon game, like, that's just such a silly argument. Like, if you want to play games for graphics, go play something else. So my argument's not coming from that side of things.
Hot take.
Well, I mean, if you want graphics and stuff, I don't know why you're playing Nintendo games. It makes no sense to me. Pokemon Violet. I had to have, and I've been playing games my whole life, never needed guidebooks. I had to have a website, and I think I still have it open on my Safari on my phone, telling me what place to go to next the entire time. I was constantly going to like the 4th gym when I should be in the 2nd gym. I was constantly doing things so out of order, and it allows you to do stuff out of order. And it just like, there's old Pokemon games, it was like, follow this path. Like Snorlax is in the way, so you can't progress. Or Sudowoodo's in the way, so you can't progress. And those were just much better games. Ooh, that's a nice one. Is that what is that graded?
It's a 7.
Oh, never mind.
It's from
I was gonna buy it if it was a 10.
Not a 10 for that. It was a Secret Santa gift from UAP.
Okay.
Shout out UAP.
Shout out UAP. Yeah, he's always super nice and always
can't wait to meet him in Orlando.
Yeah, he always says hi to me in chat, so I appreciate that. Yeah, but it's just hard. I know, like, I've heard other people on podcasts say like they want like a really good open world Pokemon game, and I just don't want that, and I feel like it's gonna make Pokemon not Pokemon. Pokemon should go back to their formula where they have the gyms. It was very structured with how you play. It was very dumbed down. I mean, I don't like how they have like EXP share and all that stuff for all your Pokemon at all times, but yeah, I'll leave it at that.
So I'm going to agree with most of what you said. The graphics thing, I do like. Listen, Breath of the Wild is a beautiful looking game for the GameCube or the Switch. Why Scarlet and Violet couldn't look even close to that, it makes no sense. It's egregious, like, on their part.
I don't know. I play it and I don't notice it. So,
do you wear like your glasses when you're playing?
No, I actually.
Or do you just look at the fuzzy screen like my wife does? Like, I can't see.
It's all a mindset, right? Like,
the music slaps in that game. Like, let me tell you, there's no better battle music than Scarlet.
I think Zelda's a terrible comparison because Zelda's always been like a adventure
But that's
action-packed.
exactly what Pokemon is.
No, Pokemon is I walk up into a thing of grass and get into a battle and go through a menu screen and click buttons. It's not actually battling,
All right, so
like
you
hand-to-hand
want
combat.
so you want just like old school turn based linear gameplay to come.
Yes,
And I
for
don't
Pokemon.
and again, I don't disagree with you. I also don't like all the extra convoluted stuff that's in Pokemon now.
Like,
too.
why do I go back and play the old Pokemon games and enjoy them 50 times more?
Because you don't have to breed every Pokemon. You don't have to do the thousands of other things. You have to.
But like,
You don't have to
even
hold certain stuff. Like
even
there-
generations that I don't like, go play Black and White. No one like a lot of people don't like the Pokemon.
I've never played Black and White.
Pokemon White was the most fun I've had playing a game maybe ever.
Top down view.
I mean, it's like a little better than like the older ones, but yeah,
Okay.
it's very similar to the older type Pokemon games, obviously with its enhancements that the newer ones have. But
okay, yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. I would like a more like when Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu came out, I was excited until it was just like Pokemon Go kind of on your TV. So I wish they would have like that game with those graphics. If it was just like the regular game over again, would have been so cool. Would have been so much more happy with it.
It might be like something about like walking through grass and not knowing what you're going to encounter is kind of cool. Because like
I used to Abras, dude. I used to love catching Abras because they were hard as hell to catch. And right by Bill's house, that little stretch of grass, like before you crossed over, where there's like Abra City.
Like, is it just me? Like, I'd rather be inconvenienced and have to run from a Caterpie 400 times than just see it in the wild and run past it and not ever encounter it.
Were you a runner or a killer?
If they weren't a high enough level, I'm a runner.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Because the XP is not even worth your. I mean, it's not even worth watching the animation.
Click through 2 buttons to get where you're going. Okay. All right. I don't completely disagree. The only thing I disagreed with was the graphics. But this is coming from a man who doesn't like artists or art, so it's I'm sorry. I had to. Oh, he just exploded a little bit.
Okay, so we're gonna do this right now. 2 hours in. We said we were gonna be an hour to 2 every single episode, but we're already at 2. For the record, my camera is gone.
And now his camera's gone. This is
what
PoNGa sees when he plays Scarlet and Violet. It's this blurry, so you can't see.
You're live with Jake Smith the other day. This is a bonus segment. Retro in the chat said, remember when PoNGa said he hated art or something, and then told Beerski to look and do a rabbit hole into vending series, which is like known for its art. I never said I didn't like art on Pokemon cards. That never was a thing. Jake Smith was like, oh, he said in a live that he likes pack arts, but now he doesn't like art on Pokemon cards. Never said that. Never said that. So, and if you go to Pokeflips, after what I said, Nick and Dan both said, I 100% agree with you. So why don't people say that about them? My whole point with artists is I've never grabbed a Pokemon card and said, I wonder who the artist is. And I think a lot of people are like that. Now, I do think there's a lot of people that have binders of artists, all that sort of stuff, and that's cool. That's just not how I collect. And there's nothing wrong with how people collect that way. Now, the way I look at it, right, is like, I compare it to movies, and it's not like 100% the best comparison, but like my favorite movies, I know who the main actor or actress is, but I don't know who the director is. Who's the executive producer? I don't know. And I think of that as like a similar thing. Like, yeah, I'm sure there's going to be someone in the comments that's like, oh, I know every famous director. And yeah, sure, I know some of them, like if it's advertised. But like 99% of movies, I've never thought, wow, I wonder who directs this movie. And I think of it as like a similar way. Like the artists are super talented. I appreciate the Pokemon and the art. I just don't necessarily pay attention to who the artist is.
All right. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. Take this man's name off the Out of the mud.
I don't care when people give me a hard time. I hate when they give me a hard time when it's not what I said.
It's all right, PoNGa. It's okay. Well, that was our bonus segment. PoNGa hates art.
PoNGa's rants.
PoNGa's rant. So that might be a thing one day. All right. And to finish the episode out, we're going to do.
I don't know if I have brain power for this.
My least favorite segment, because PoNGa just makes fun of me the whole time. And that is, who's that Pokemon?
Okay, let's just do like 2 each.
Sharpedo. I'm going first.
Oh, you had that one pulled up already. Can I get Licky, please?
Oh, that would be great.
Is that Riolu?
It is.
All right, one more each.
Oh, that's Kadabra.
I'm going to get the hardest one here.
I hope so. Oh, Jesus.
The most useless Pokemon of all time, Bulbasaur.
I couldn't have been any easier for you. Oh, Hip Pig.
No.
Oh, Grumpig. Yeah. Oh my jeez. Make it easy for PoNGa.
Kangaskhan.
Well,
Plume.
You're a loser.
All right, we're done.
It's over. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Love disc.
We're pulling it off. Boom. Thank you for being here for episode 5. Obviously, we're recording this Monday night, but it should be around, I don't know, 3 o'clock your time right now, or 3 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday. Really do appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, please hit the like, subscribe, bell notifications, all that stuff. We will be back here again in 2 weeks for episode 6. If you have any segments or anything that you guys want to hear, any questions you want to ask, please put them down in the comments. We will talk about it next episode. Just give us some ideas to throw some stuff. We want to know what you guys are interested in. It doesn't necessarily have to be Pokemon or video games. I mean, that's what we said we were going to do when we started off, but I think box nostalgia is a little bit more than that, and it is, all nostalgic things. So if you have something you want to talk about and want us to talk about, please put it in the comments.
Yeah, you said it all. I mean, if you have any idea for any segment, any topic, throw a list down there, and we have a living document that we put all of our ideas on, and we meet every week to discuss them. So if we don't touch it next week, we probably will eventually, especially like tier list stuff. I know I'm always in the live chat or the premiere chat when the video premieres, and I'm always chatting with people on how they're ranking stuff and going back and forth with them, calling them dumb, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's fun for sure.
It's a fun experience, and if it's something that you really enjoy, like we could talk about it in real time. So yeah, just appreciate all the support. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, 1,000 views, 114 subscribers. We get a ton of people's opinions and comments in every single video, so please keep it up.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and yeah, we appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Peace.